in a place where they told you what to chase, told you how to run the race, every move was on the page. But I didn't like their way, had to fight and misbehave, had to find a way to change, had to leave to find my way. Caught up in a daydream, I beat my mind up there almost daily. It's how I pass time, no opinions safely, it's how I understand what I want.
Hey guys, so my name is Mobani Jenga. For the ones who do not know me, welcome and welcome back to my channel. Guys, we hit 500 subbies. Thank you for the love and for the subscriptions. Well, it's been a minute since I did well, the last video definitely you guys will you had the ones that you watched. The last video you watched was a sit down, and I'm also doing a sit down right now, and I'm gonna answer a question or something that I really get asked a lot by so many people, like randomly online, people that I know, some I don't know, and people ask, is it hard to settle in Canada? Or basically, is it hard to settle down in a new country? Talking from experience, I'd say it has its hardships. It's hard, like literally hard, because I had someone ask me that they don't see as if it's hard on my side, but like I've had so many people say that how you do things, it doesn't look like it's hard for you, like some other people say. Trust me, it's hard, and everyone has their own kind of hardships that they go through. And if I may list them down, like first things first, the minute you move to a new country, you're excited, you're to the roof, yani a dream come true has happened, and yeah, this is you moving to a new country and all that jazz. Shortly after, it hits you, or like shortly after staying here, like the first week, it's all about the excitement, getting to see the place, getting to see the city. You're in a new city. I don't know if this is reflecting anyway. I can't hold on to the light, but anyway, you're in a new city, everything is new, you're so just excited and everything. And then comes in week 2, the realization of hey, I've figured and I need to figure out how to start settling in, how to get my paperwork ready. If I want to stay here for long, how do I do that? That also happens. And then you find that comes in after some time, probably when you've decided the route that you want to choose or you want to stay in. You find that comes in the part where you start looking for jobs. You might find you had a career coming from back home, or you had a job that you're used to doing coming from back home, and getting here before you get that job or the kind of a job that you used to do, not unless it doesn't have an influx of people or so many people who work in that field, it's gonna be hard for you to find that job. For example, I'll give a good example of myself. Before I went to writing, I used to do customer service, admin, and before then I also was a graphic designer. But I think with time, things we do sometimes when you're young, you come and lose interest doing them. So I was a graphic designer at first. I lost interest about it and transitioned to admin, customer service, and worked there front office for quite a while before now I transitioned to writing, transcription and all. So I was used to a certain routine that I knew, in as much as I was working from home and I was employed by a company that I never had to like go into an office. Coming here, I need to get a job that I need to start meeting people, going out with people. I remember the first job that I got here was housekeeping. Have I ever done housekeeping? No, never ever. It was the first time that I did housekeeping. At first I thought, well, it's going into hotel rooms, dressing out the beds, putting them back, vacuuming the room, cleaning where it needs to be cleaned. The room itself is like a whole bed sitter, it's big, and you end up having like about 10 to 15 rooms before the end of the day, and you only have 8 hours to work. Some are messier than others, some are crazy, just a lot. So to me that was quite a bummer, because I had not done that kind of a job and it was hard for me. And before I caught on to probably getting a second job, I think I worked in that field for about 2 months. Then I got my second job in customer service. I took up working as a cashier, and that's what I had done like for the rest of the year until this year, to when I transitioned to now healthcare. So it took me a really long while to like get used to it. Customer service over here, once you see like cashiers, even in supermarkets back in Kenya, most of them have chairs, they have these two little desks, they're seated and all that stuff. Over here, none of that. If you have an 8-hour shift, you're going to be on your feet for the whole time. Sometimes you'd find it's a big shop. That's not your only job in this place. The place needs to look clean. Make sure if something is going off, you need to restock. So you find that you are doing a lot of things in one position, and it's something that you've never done before. Even the fact that counting the money, it's a new currency. I've just moved into a new country. I only know my currency. So here I'm dealing with a different currency. There are coins, there are notes and all that stuff. How does it look when I'm getting, okay, back home the lowest coin we have is a shilling, 1 Kenya shilling. Over here we have up to 5 cents, 10 cents, 25 cents, and it's 5 tens, 10 cents, 25 cents, and now $1 and $2. So by the time you catch on these two coins, you might find even people who are here for long, especially if you don't use cash a lot. It will take you a while before you get accustomed to using the notes or the coins over here. You'd even see someone who's come to buy something. They have a bunch of coins and they have no idea how to even count them. They just come drop them to you. Pap, you just take whatever you need from there, and then you'll just give me the change and all that stuff. So that's part of the challenges, and it gets hard sometimes to not getting a job, and the fact that you're not working over here counts that you're not getting in money. And you're not getting in money, you're alone in this country, or in a country like this, or any other, like probably in the UK, in America, in other places, Australia and stuff. You're alone. You don't have people that you can just call and tell them, can you pay for me rent this month? Back home it was easier. I remember sometimes if, for example, my money would get late, I'd even call my mom, pay for me my rent this month, and next month, this month, and then I'll refund it to you once I get it. Over here, rent is almost $1,000. So imagining calling someone and just telling them, pay me $1,000 for rent, you're going crazy. They'll probably give you money for groceries, probably like $100. You go buy food for some days, but $1,000, that is too much. Because most of these people you find, before they are working for their own bills, they're also paying their own bills, and they have other things they're paying for, insurance and all that stuff. And the fact that you can find a little to put aside, it's not as much that you put aside. So it's really crazy. So you always know you're alone in that situation, and if it doesn't work out, you're fucked. Like kimekuramba vibaya sana. So that's part of it. And I'd say getting the jobs, it's hard and it's also not hard. Also, when you're coming here, I mostly tell people, be open-minded. The fact that you've never worked in a field, and say this is the specific field that I'm going to work in, it might mess you up real bad. Because personally, when I came here, I did like most of the cleaning stuff, like you'd say the housekeeping. I also did some housekeeping in people's houses and sometimes Airbnbs, because you'd find companies who are hiring to go and do like housekeeping in people's houses. But now with time, people's houses get a bit risky because there are things you can break, and the minute you break, that's another paying and all that stuff. So I just I think I feared when I dropped what do you call it, it was a decor piece and it broke, and I was so freaked out. I don't think the owner of the house was not mad, because they said, it's just okay, we're going to replace it. But I never went back to that job again, because I was like, what if I break something more expensive? They're not going to tell me that. So it's there, it works out. And other than that, in other places you'd find there are factory jobs, there are factories, different kind of factories, food factories, different ones that you might go and work. I'd tell someone, don't choose at first. First of all, get a hold of something that you can do until you feel a field that you're comfortable in. Because at first, after I did the cleaning and stopped cleaning, worked in as a cashier, I kind of like got a bit stuck on, I don't want to do any other kind of a job. I want to do customer service. And the fact that here customer service has it's a very high demand job. It has so many people who are working in the jobs, students who are here on international or on student visas, once they go for their breaks, those are the jobs that they look for because they are the easiest to access. You'd even see their jobs for specifically for students. So it's really hard to attain that job. And in order for you to attain a job, probably in customer service, it will take you a special skill that you might need to be able to acquire a job. Because I remember there was one that it was really good. It was a good deal, everything. It was paying really good, and it was a full-time job. I've done customer service before. The call center one still here, and they come here and tell me it's call center. We are a bunch of people who've come for the interview, and the only thing that made me not get that job is because I had not done an emergency kind of a call center. That was the setup of that job. It required you to have worked in a place that you can be called in for an emergency and answer this person and be calm, know how to handle the situation. And you'd find most of these things when you're doing an admin kind of a job. Sometimes when you go to school, you need to cover some of these few things. Some other places, they're not really strict because the jobs are there. You can always learn on the job. Other places are really strict and they're like, you need to know the skill and you need to have learned. It's really good because once you like learn, even land in a new job, they do trainings and they'll train you. So it's not going to be hard to like maneuver. Always the first times you can find yourself doing any kind of a job, even a job that you never thought that you'd do. Other than that, it's also challenging to even get a house. As the people who have moved, you come in, you're still very new, you've just gotten your papers, you're not looking for a job, and you need to find a place to move into. Because probably you're living in a shared setup, probably a shelter or something, and you need to find a place to live in. The offices that deal with renting, they need you to have pay stubs. These are sort of like pay slips. You need to show you're working. And there is a certain amount. You cannot just be given a house like that. The kind of a house that you normally get here, you need to have, the amount of the rent that you need to pay, it's supposed to be like 1/3 of your salary. So if it doesn't get to the 1/3 of your salary, you're not going to get that house. Meaning, once you pay for the house, you're going to remain with half and more than whatever you've paid for the salary. Like you'll remain with the amount. For example, let's give it an example. If for example I pay for like my house $800, I need to make sure I'm remaining with 800 and more than another half of 800. So probably I'd say I remain with around like 1,300 on top, and I've already paid for my rent. That is what they expect, and they cannot give you a house if, for example, it's lower than that or you don't even have a job. It's hard. They won't give you a house. You'll keep on applying to get the house. It's really hard for you to get approved to get a house. That's some other challenges that people face. Then comes in the part that you've now settled in. It's now a couple of months in. If, for example, you had kids, you now start missing your kids. You're missing your family. You don't have friends here, and it's really hard. People are always never free. People are always busy. In order for you to meet up with friends, you have to make a plan, make a point to meet up. Otherwise, utaishi kutafuta watu. And for me, I'd say I'm an introvert or an ambivert. I change depending on where I am. Sometimes I'm very out there and sometimes I'm very enclosed. So I'd be in places and I don't even know how to approach people. I don't know why. There was a time we were even having a conversation and saying, I think we should be taught how to even make friends when we're growing up, because I don't know how kids do it. You might find yourself in a place, you need friends, and you're alone and you don't even know how to even say hi to someone and start a conversation. Small talk over here is really important. They do that thing of, hi, the weather is really good. Next thing, that person smiles at you and you might even meet them in the next block and they can't even remember if they saw you somewhere. It's that kind of a small talk thing, friendly but not really friendly. So you'd never really tell who's really open to being friends and who's not. Probably other immigrants, maybe, could be very friendly. Some not, because they're also not sure. And once you start living here, I even see people saying that so and so moved to the States or abroad and then they just change, they never talk to people. The culture over here, it gets to you. And once it gets to you, unashindwa hata kuongelesha watu. You can keep up conversations because mostly you're always in your own space and not talking to people at all, because there's no one to talk to. Like, everyone is busy, not unless you make plans. Because there are times I'd want to see my cousin, she's busy working. I'd want to see my friend, she's busy working. and I cannot be able to like meet them up. Huwezi tokelezea mtu like pap and you're there. No, make plans, tell them I'd like to see you on this and this date. Are you going to be available at this time? They tell you, no, I'm going to be available on this day. So you find that there are times we even spend months, bila kuonana, weeks, like almost 2 months, and we're in the same city, just about like 20 minutes away from each other, and everyone is busy. We have different shifts, and you guys are not seeing each other. It does happen, and I'd say it really takes a toll on someone when you don't have friends. You are used to seeing people around, always chatting, always visiting people or friends. You guys visit each other and all, and here you find yourself, a day passes and you go to work, come back to the house quiet, or even be in the house because some days you're not working, you don't have a place to go. Sometimes you're not even going out because whatever you're making is not enough yet to take you to those places that you want to go out. Good thing here, things are cheap. You can always go out and grab something cheap, like for 20 bucks, eat something, go out, see people, come back home. But that loneliness, I know, I've been there, I've passed through it. It's crazy. It hits you very, very badly, and it takes you to go out there. Sometimes here people are even met on dating sites. That's where you write up a whole profile. You say, I'm looking for friends who enjoy doing this, so you can be able to make friends. And other than the friendships and the loneliness and missing and the homesick really kicks in real bad. Probably something else that I'd say it's challenging, although people maneuver around it, like finding food, getting acquainted with things. That's also part of it. You might find nothing tastes the same, like before you even find something that you're comfortable in. There's some very, very tiny things. Skincare is also another thing. You come in here, you're used to, I don't know, Miss Dewey, I think home unapata hata ungeshawa na bar soap, ile sabuni ya kipande, uko tu sawa. Not unless you really have a sensitive skin, you're okay and things are okay. Here, come find all these shower gels, find all these things. One thing, your skin goes dry, or you start getting very, very dry skin, rashes. Next thing, other people even get acne because of the weather change and everything, and it's not comfortable for people. And before you start now treating it all over again, getting back your skin together and all that stuff, some even lose hair. You find that climate over here or the water over here is not good for your hair. You start breaking hair off. Some very, very tiny things, but you find that with time they get very uncomfortable, and it's hard to even maneuver and settle around. Personally, I'd say the making friends part was so hard to a point I had to even get cats, because I love cats anyway, and they get you that feeling of you're not alone, and they're there, they're playing around in the house. You'd even talk to them. Cat lovers know, or even pet lovers know. So it has its own difficulties, and some people may talk about it, some may not. And I'd say not to really judge the people who are out there so harsh, because some of them may be going through things and they won't even talk about it. Some of them may be smack in the middle of depression and they will not even talk about it, because they don't even know how people are going to get into it or how I'm going to take it. You even find people get here and then within a few years they're seeing therapists. They've never seen therapists back in their countries. So it has its own kind of weight that it lays on people. And someone would ask me, and why would you even encourage someone to go? Or would you take that step again and go and move abroad? I would still take that step again and move here. It has its own benefits, and we all know with time you get a groove of things. If you go back to school, you get a good job, pays you well, you can be able to buy and invest on stuff, buy, like for example, land, houses and stuff, and you can be able to invest on yourself, on your family. It's sort of like what do I call it? It's sort of like an investment, but it takes so much away from you, because one, you never feel at home here, and you never feel at home back home. Because that's why you even see people who go to places like even where do you call it, the Emirates or the sides of the Dubais and Qatar and all. You find that someone will go work there for a year or 2 or even 3 years, and then after some time come back to Kenya, and they are uncomfortable. They cannot continue staying, because once you leave home, life continues, but in your head it sort of like looks like it's not moving, it's the same. You even hear someone probably passed on, it doesn't kick in because you didn't see the whole of that thing. And by the time you move back, it's hard for you to like get acquainted. You can't just go back. You can't pick up from where you left. Let me put it that. You can't pick up from where you left because life moved on. Same case when you move here, you're an immigrant, you're new. This is not your country. You have your different skin color. Sometimes you'll find a few bits of racism. It's there, not so much. I'd say it's not as much like in other places, but here it's not as much. You'd really stay before you find someone who's even pulling that racist card on you. So there's so many immigrants in this country, so it's very few places that you find someone pulling that racist card on you. But it also has its own difficulties, and it also has its own benefits. Someone would ask me, would you encourage someone to move abroad if they want to? I'd say yes. If that's a dream you have and you want to move abroad, please do, but come here with a goal, knowing what you want and having the idea of this is what I want to do, this is a goal I want to accomplish, and be open-minded. You might come having a whole idea on your head, and whatever you thought would happen doesn't happen at all. There are people who come in here with careers probably in medicine or in different things, then after a few years you hear they've changed their careers to IT, or from IT to medicine. It depends with what you find comfortable, what kind of jobs you're able to access, and sometimes people just have to change to that, because that's going to be the easiest thing. Because sometimes you even weigh your options. Okay, this is the career that I came here with, it pays average, but this new career pays high above average. So you'd find that you'll rather drop whatever you knew before and learn something new. Change is paramount. It happens all the time. And I'd say moving to a new country, be open-minded, always be ready to change, because things don't go as planned. Whatever you thought or whatever you dreamt or whatever sometimes we see online, it's not as it seems. Kwa ground, they say kwa ground vitu ni different. Like in the ground, things are totally different. So you might think this is how things are running. Once you get there, you see a totally different thing. And like I said, people's journeys are different. Mine is different, someone else's is different. We all don't have the same journeys. We might have moved to the same country around the same time, and we started, for example, the same kind of a process around the same time, and things are not going to move the same for all of us. Someone is going to take a different journey. Someone's, for example, even if it's like the documentation process, you might all submit your documents, for example, on the 26th, and submitting on the 26th, someone gets theirs back on the next month on the 15th, the other person gets them on the 20th, the other person gets them after months. It's different for everyone, and it's a different journey. And I'd say comparison also, leave it kabisa. Just take your journey and don't feel like so and so is doing better and we came around the same time. No, take your own journey, move, it's yours. Not only here but even back home, the journey is yours. No one has a journey that is the same with the other person. That's why we are told you are an original of yourself, and there is no copy of you. It's just you, and they'll never have someone else who's like you. They can look like you, they can have qualities like yours, but they're never going to be you. So that's basically it. It's hard moving and starting a new life in a new country, in a new world, or in a new continent, but it's worth it with time. But it's not worth it at a pop. No, it takes time, it takes a lot of work to be able to get to that place where you want to get to. But I'd say honestly, it's worth it. And if someone wants to still move abroad to wherever country they want to move to, it's your dream, go ahead, follow your dream, and probably with time you're gonna appreciate it. And we all have plans. Like you've planned, this is what I want to do, I want to go back to school and all that stuff. Yeah, it does work out. And in as much as it's hard, the hard never stays. You get acclimatized to it and you move on and you learn something easy, and with good favor you can find friends who are wanakuonyesha njia, so the hard parts are not really hard. They are like helping you bridge those very hard areas, and they'll show you kasi hapa, step here, it's going to be easier. If you're lucky you find those ones. Then if you're not lucky, sometimes you'd even find someone who knows all that and they're not going to tell you, and then you come to realize later there was a shorter route. So research, me, I'll always speak about, do your research, do your due diligence. Yani kula research, Google, on YouTube, everywhere, all this information is out there. If you want something, learn, do research about it. And also, once you do your research about it, don't be afraid to ask. If someone is good enough, they're going to give you like whatever information they can give you, watakupea yote. And I'd say that's about it. It's a good move. It has its own hardships, but it also has its own wins, and that's about it. Thank you so much for the subscriptions. Continue subscribing if you haven't. Comment and engage with my content, and we'll see you on my next video. Bye guys.